All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Get to the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Movies. That's Get to the Movies with the number 2. Nick thought I was gonna forget
I
the
thought
change to the fucking title.
I thought
Guess
you were
what?
gonna screw it up.
I'm on point.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna embrace the title for the podcast because
Yes.
at this point, Get to the Podcast, while it's great, we're Get to the Movies. And we have been for
Yeah.
a while. Our websites Get to the Movies, all of our social media handles are Get to the Movies, the companies Get to the Movies. So it's like the podcast can just be Get to the Movies as well. Like,
It
you know
should
what
be
I
just
mean?
Get to the Movies.
And also it just lets people know, hey, this is what this podcast is about. Right off the bat. You see it, I don't go, oh, I know what they're talking about.
Get to the Movies.
They're just like everybody else. We're walking in step with the rest of society. We're conformists.
We're
Clinging
aligning.
in.
We're conformists.
We're niching in. I don't know. I have nothing.
Yeah. So we're Get to the Movies. I
Yeah.
mean, our intro's still the same but that's fine too because it is a
Yeah.
podcast. So it's a good way to, get to the podcast.
It's just not a cost-effective time right now to change the wording on the intro music. So,
But
we're
also
gonna,
it doesn't because only the Arnold
gonna
part says
hold the
Get to the
ground.
Podcast, and the rest of them are like, you telling me you made a time machine out of a podcast? I only came here for two things.
Chew bubblegum.
Chew bubblegum
Chew
and
bubble-
podcast,
yeah.
and I'm all out of bubblegum. So it's like the only part that actually says "get to the podcast"
Yeah.
is the Arnold thing, and that's fine. That's
It's-
good. I'm
it's-
good with that. I like it.
It's subtitled in, people.
Yeah.
Just wait.
We had so many other ones we could have added to, by the way, just like that we were looking at pulling from to create that
Yeah.
intro, and we just went with those three. But there was actually other ones from like Jaws and Ghostbusters. We saw, we podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that at some point and just kind of like add other ones or end it.
Switch it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
switch it
Give
up.
you guys a little flavor. Do something. A little something for you.
Little flavor. Can't do nothing for you, man. That's Flavor Flav. from
That's
Public
Flavor
Enemy. It's
Flav,
funny
that's
you
right.
said flavor and he said do
Fla-
something for you.
There you go.
Is that the guy with the giant metal or gold thing around his neck?
The guy.
On
The guy?
reality
Yeah, the
show?
clock. The
Yeah.
reality
That's
show.
all I know about him is that
Yeah.
he was on a reality show
Flavor
and,
of-
and like
Flavor
his
of Love.
wife cheated on him or his girlfriend or I don't know.
That reality show is just whatever. But if you go 20 years before, that's Public Enemy, and
Yes.
he was like their biggest hype man, and he did a couple. Usually he didn't do a lot of the verses, you know, but it was Chuck D. That's their.
He was a
MC. He's
dramatic
amazing.
factor of that group.
Yeah, but he's like the hype man. He gets it, and
Yeah,
he
he
adds
gets you
this,
hyped up.
he adds this flavor to it.
Yeah,
it really
exactly.
works because Chuck D is nothing like him. Chuck D's militant, wears the Malcolm X hat,
Yeah.
is like great lyrics, booming voice, and then you have this kind of crazy Flavor Flav. I can't do nothing for you, man. You know, like that kind
Exactly.
of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, works.
Cool.
But to start up this Get to the Movie podcast,
Holy shit.
I will start it off like this. So many things to tell her, but how to make her see the truth about my past? Impossible. Impossible. She'll turn away from me.
Is that
He's holding back, he's hiding for what I can't decide. Why won't he be the
King.
I know he is. Lion King, the Lion King.
man. Is
Actually,
that
that might be my
Simba
favorite
and
song.
Nala?
That might be my favorite song from that movie, by the way.
Oh, you know why?
What's so
Can you
funny?
feel
That's
love?
my least favorite
Yeah.
song.
Are you kidding me?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, so I think
No,
he's
I
referencing
love-
the two.
I mean,
are you
they're all
referencing the two
good, but-
singers that are Beyonce and?
No, I'm saying I love that song from the original movie. Is my I like the Circle of Life, but Can You Feel the Love Tonight is such a good song. Like in that original movie,
Yeah.
it starts off that slow little kind of they go back and forth, and then they go into that harmony of the Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and I just think it plays so well. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love the
does-
crescendo of it.
Yeah, I love how it starts with a perspective of Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, and you have
They're
I can
losing
see
their buddy.
what's happening. What?
Yeah.
When they don't have a clue,
Who?
they'll fall in love. And here's the bottom line: three goes down to two.
Yeah. And then is it down
What
to
was
the
that again?
tubes or is
Down
it
to
down
two.
to two? See, have you ever mixed that up or they've done it in one version? It's down the tubes. The other one's down to two.
I'm gonna stick with down to
I don't
two.
remember.
Yeah. Trios down.
What's that actor's name? I just watched The Producers.
Nathan Lane?
He's in Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Birdcage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Birdcage.
I
yeah.
love him. He's good.
great.
I saw him on Broadway in Angels in America, the revival of that last year. Holy shit, was it good? And he was so good in it. He played Ray Cohn or whatever, the attorney back in the day. Anyways, he was incredible on stage. And I saw him in The Addams Family on Broadway, where he played
wow.
Gomez.
Is that what he does
seen
now?
that?
He's just like full-time Broadway?
No.
I haven't
He
seen him
does,
in any movies.
No, he does movies.
He
He
does
does
films,
movies and shows. Like he'll show up as guest stars in shows, but he's a big theater. He's one of those guys that just always does theater too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, I've
He
seen
has a
him
huge
twice on
theater
Broadway. He
background.
is great.
Oh,
He
that's
is
cool.
so solid.
So we're talking about The Lion King. We're coming back to The Lion King because there's obviously a lot of talk on what is called Disney's live action films.
Yeah, nobody's really calling it that except for people who are debating that it shouldn't be called that. But the studio itself and the promotion has never said it's
They've
live
never.
action.
Yeah, they've never. That's not what it is. Yeah. So.
So
But
you finally saw it.
so I finally saw it. Yes.
Neil hasn't seen it.
Neil
Yeah,
hasn't
the
seen it.
tables
Which
have
is
turned.
The table.
I know,
has
it's kinda
turned,
weird.
Right? It's kind of odd, right?
And here I
weird.
am
Yeah.
doing the same thing, just seeing the movies.
Not changing.
That's true.
I'm getting to the movies.
getting
You
to
guys
the
are
movies.
kind of getting to the movies.
I get
No,
to the
we get to the
movies
movies.
a
We
lot.
just get it in a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's
or so we get to the movie. Like I get to the movies.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start off by your perspective, and you want to hear?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with mine, and then
Yeah.
you can add yours. Okay.
Okay.
I was sitting there in that movie, and about 10 minutes into it, I just remember thinking the words, "This is great." Like I really thought that. I was like, "This is great." Like there's something about it. I clicked into it. I liked what they were doing.
It's the $400 million they spent on CG.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
just
it is.
if you've ever seen $400 million in a pile, you just instantly go, "This is amazing." So it was
Yeah.
like looking at that,
Yeah.
on screen. Yeah, $400 million. That's why that's $400 million. No, it was. I thought it was okay because it was all digital effects, right? Every single shot except for one shot in the whole movie is.
Which one wasn't?
Okay, do you want me to tell you, or do
Because I
you want to
think
know it before you see it?
I have my
is it
shot
a big
in
deal,
hand.
or is it
No,
just
no.
like
Well,
one little-
Jon Favreau held it back, and then he finally shared the shot. He wanted to slip one real shot in there to see if you could tell the difference.
Okay, I'm gonna
Oh,
say
say which one you think.
I think it's the waterfall.
No.
The inside the waterfall shot. That wasn't it.
No.
That was real.
Yeah, that's real.
That was
Oh,
great.
no, that was digital. Everything was digital. The only real shot, I'll tell you, it's the sun coming up
In the beginning.
Serengeti in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
The opening shot of the sun.
That was my
real.
second guess. That was my second
Isn't
guess.
that, but
Yeah.
isn't that crazy?
That's
that you can't
cheap
tell?
though. He did it like if it's like the first opening shot, like nobody's gonna look to that to be the see. They're
Well,
probably
that sets the
expecting
standard,
somewhere else.
though.
No, but the point is everything else in the movie, it looks real. Like you really like the little mouse thing running around in the rocks.
But
I
does
thought
it-
that was real. Like,
does
like
it
the
look
actual
real?
rocks part. Yeah, it does.
Does it look real?
does.
It
It
does.
Or does it look CG? Like really
No,
No,
good
the environment
CG?
looks
It
real.
looks-
Because I've seen the
amazing.
trailer and they look like CG.
No,
to
no,
me.
I'm not
They
talking about
don't
the
look like
characters. I'm talking about
real.
the digital, the environment,
world.
the world.
Oh, the
is real.
environment. Okay, okay.
Yeah, the world.
Of course, the lion's gonna look. Yeah, because you have something. It's no.
Yeah.
You know what a lion moving and
Yeah.
looks like, and these things talk.
The level
Yeah,
of detail.
I've seen the Ghost in the Darkness. I know what
Yeah.
lions look like. Them's real lions. Well,
Jesus,
I
that
mean, there's
movie.
like prosthetic
That was
ones or
great.
whatever.
That was
you know.
great.
So
movie.
the
That's my
detail
Lion King.
within just the environment and even the characters is astounding. It's
Yeah.
like I think it breaks so many grounds. It's just, I mean, when you see the lions running, every piece, like I'm sitting there and like going through like Discovery Channel, like shots of lion in my head while and seeing
the twitching ears,
the twitching,
you know what I mean? little
the
nuances.
random movements that they do within, even like when some of this running shots, how the skin moves with the motion, like underneath towards the belly side of the lion,
Yeah.
like that. That's like because there's so much detail there. It's just so freaking amazing.
I did just recently watch Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Finally,
I
I
did,
like
yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah, I wish I had seen it in theaters because I really liked it. But like the CG is like unreal.
on point, yeah. on
I'm
point.
like, this is like bananas.
Lion King takes it.
I
up a
really
notch.
enjoyed that
It
movie.
really does. It literally makes you feel like it's a real environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even the characters, like, yes, you will know they're digital characters, but like when you're watching the movie, you just fall into the movie. But they do it realistic. Like, there's not really a lot of like cartoonish elements to the characters. It's almost
Yeah.
like if these things could really talk, this is what they would be like. And, you don't see a lot of goofy smiling and weird stuff. It's like is he a meerkat or a prairie
Meerkat,
dog?
yeah, he's a-
not a prairie dog. He's a
Meerkat.
Meerkat. So he's will do
Prairie
smile
dog.
things, but it's like they look like look what a prairie dog looks like. It doesn't look too off. I mean, look a little more like a gopher, I guess. A prairie dog does. But
Yeah.
he's a meerkat. But he'll smile. Like there are smiles, but it's sort of like what would that thing really do if it had that little smiling thing?
It's within the
certain animals-
physicality
Yeah, within
of
the
a
physicality.
Of the meerkat. Yeah.
I thought Scar was great. And Chiwetel Ejiofor played him, and I liked it because Scar is very cartoonishly evil in the cartoon.
Yeah.
In this one, he's just like he looks like he's really like skinny and like got the scar on him and everything like that, and he's kind of worn away, and he just looks like a beat
looks
down
like-
fucking creature. Like that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
And Chiwetel Ejiofor does a great job with the voice.
Yeah.
He looks like the lion that always eats last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't look. He's not an alpha. He's not an alpha.
He's definitely not.
Yeah.
And his dynamic with the hyenas, I liked. It was very different than the cartoon.
Yeah.
And his character was very different. I thought all of the voice casting was on point. Not
Yes.
one that that I
Yes.
think that's off. I thought every single one nailed it.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that.
Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner as Timon was great.
Incredible.
Timon and Pumbaa, best characters in
Yeah.
the thing. I think they bring this level of humor, but like a lot
They
of
were
their,
the saviors
a lot of their
of the
humor is different from the cartoon.
Really?
It's the same spirit of the original cartoon, but a lot of their dialogue is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's additional things, and they do little. I don't want to mention. There's a couple things that they do, and I don't want to mention because you haven't seen it. I was talking to Diego about it before, and there's little funny things they do. Things you thought about in the original Lion King that you're like, oh, that's a little off, or something. They almost will acknowledge it, but in a subtle way. They almost acknowledge
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
To clear. I can't say
They
what
step
is.
it up by basically things that they wouldn't say back then. They say it now.
Right.
But they do it in such a very great form.
Yeah.
That you laugh at it and you understand the nostalgic of that point in the film.
Yeah.
It's really good.
They were really good. Timon and Pumbaa scene were all awesome. I mean, I laughed out loud more than one time. And
They literally were. Yeah, they
that-
literally were the savior of the films.
The Just Can't Wait to Be King number was great. The kids they got for Simba and Nala, the voices were incredible. And their singing voices, like that Just Can't Wait to Be King, kills it.
They
Wasn't
did
it
incredible.
The kid from Home Improvement
No.
voiced
The original one. It
Yeah,
was,
the
it was
original.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah. I don't know
Did
if
he
he
do the
sang
sing-
it. Probably didn't
No,
sing it.
it wasn't
a
him.
lot of times they didn't use the same voice actors. for
singing and
singing.
like regular voices sound so close.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah.
hard to.
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
Nathan Lane did
differentiate,
do
but-
his singing in the original
No, it wasn't
one.
him
Yeah.
because I saw the kids perform the song
Oh, from the original.
on the stage. Oh, no, from this one.
Oh, okay.
The kids
no,
who
I
played-
wasn't saying from this one. I just meant.
Oh, the original. Yeah.
Yeah, in the original, I think.
Yeah,
it was
it was
Jonathan Taylor Thomas or
It was
something.
John.
Yeah, this new one, it was. I saw like a kind of a behind the scenes thing
Yeah.
of these kids. I don't know who they are, but God, he killed it. That's that whole number and that whole. It was. You know how he jumps through all the different things that are going on, and you have all the different animals. He's trying to get away from Zazu and everything.
Yeah.
It's just really good.
It was. Yeah.
I really believe if you saw this on the big screen, you'd really enjoy it. Like it's such.
Oh, yeah,
it's an
I'm sure I
enjoyable-
would.
We did
Yeah.
IMAX.
Oh,
You did the IMAX?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it in 3D or no?
It is in 3D.
Yeah,
Oh,
makes
it is?
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be interesting in 3D.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd maybe see it in 3D. If you want to see it in
I-
3D,
you know
I'll see
what?
it.
I don't know. I just
No-
remember we went and saw Jungle Book.
You weren't into it.
How many years ago was that? Two,
It's like
3 years ago?
3 years ago,
Yeah.
4 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go watch it in
I
3D
really
for the
loved
environment.
it.
Yeah, but this is very different from the Jungle Book, by the way. Like, I don't feel like
Yeah.
they compare in that way, but I like both movies a lot.
Well, there's
Yeah, but I don't
People.
see this and feel like Jungle Book. I mean, there's barely anybody in Jungle Book that's people. It's just a very different tone. It's a
Yeah.
they're-
What do you mean? The kid is a real
yeah,
person.
but
the
only
whole
him though.
movie.
Yeah, but only him. Like you only
I
see
know.
like his dad in a flashback. Well, I'm saying this. That's all.
I
there
think it is. I just didn't like Jungle Book all that much.
Yeah.
The animated, the original
Yeah.
Right.
cartoon or whatever.
Yeah, he's even brought, but the tech has even come further
Yeah.
from that.
That's the only reason I would watch it in 3D is to see the environment in 3. I think that would be very amazing.
If you want to
Yeah.
see it in 3D, I'll go see it in 3D because I've seen it now in 2D because I'm not a big 3D guy, but I'll see this in 3D if that would make you go to the theaters.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
All
see.
right.
Are you
Yeah.
on my
I'll
perspective?
go tonight. Go tonight.
Neil's looking at me like I want to hear Diego's perspective on
Yeah,
this.
let's hear it.
All right, now do it.
So I'm
There
gonna
you
start
go.
like Nick.
Now
did.
bring it up. All
So
negative.
I was sitting there in the theater
Yeah.
and
10
I
minutes.
wasn't fully amazed though.
You weren't fully amazed.
I was not. Here's So, but I took two.
Wait,
while I was watching
by
it,
what?
I took two perspectives. I watched it for myself, but then I watched my wife. My wife truly enjoyed it. She sang the songs and everything. I think the issue that I had with it was the fact that being an editor, there's certain things that I pay attention to, especially one of the biggest things is especially to making sure that the audio is in sync with the visual. Not saying it was off,
Yeah.
but it made me how the mouth moved.
Yeah.
It made me feel like the audio wasn't in sync. a little
Probably
bit.
because it's so unrealistic
Because
that an
it was
animal
so-
would be
yeah.
speaking English human words.
And that's-
They can't do it with their. They
Well,
have
no,
no
no,
lips. They have no.
Yeah, well, there's no point of
Well,
reference.
even when
for
they
what
side
it would look
mouth
like,
it, yeah, exactly. And I understand. So my thought was, should they have not gone so realistic with the characters?
You think they should have been more cartoonish?
Should they brought more emotions to the face? Should have. What am I saying?
No, I get
Maybe
it. You're
they-
saying they
maybe-
should have been.
yeah.
Maybe they
more
should have, because I
expressive-
didn't
expressive.
Yeah.
more expressive, more maybe that because it's still. I understand the whole technology and making it realistic. I get that, and I think it was incredible, and it did it so well. It was amazing. I enjoyed the film because I love Lion King. I enjoyed it, but I had issue connecting with climax of the film
Yeah.
because of the audio looking like it was off, the song not feeling the emotional connection from the character singing the song,
Which song?
Which one?
every song,
Every
every
song.
Wow.
Every
Even the
song.
ones I mentioned.
even the ones you mentioned.
I need to watch now. Now I feel like I need to watch like one of those
But-
YouTube.
No,
No, no, don't- don't-
just so I can
first.
see like because I feel like in the trailer they barely show them talking. It's a montage of a lot of like walking and
Right.
looking but there's not a lot of like lips moving or whatever.
Which,
so.
but I want to let me finish my statement because I do want to say that I don't want to make it sound like I dislike the film.
Yeah.
But that stuff threw me off because I didn't feel as connected to Simba. I didn't feel as connected to Nala. I think because of the humor in the characters of Timon and Pumbaa, that film was saved.
Right. You love them.
Their lines, their jokes, everything that they did, even though they didn't. Here you go. Nala, every other character was very hard to grasp their emotional. Their feelings, anger, loves, happiness,
Which
whatever,
is a very animal thing.
because
It's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, I know you're trying
saying
to
the
really
animals
relate it to
didn't
reality.
emote properly.
Yes,
like in a
that-
cartoon, there's like dramatic facial.
They're like human.
things.
They do
Yeah,
human
like
things
human.
to them, yeah,
So you're
yeah,
saying the
animals
animals
don't do
because they were going for realism. It was like a dog being sad, but it just looks like a dog.
It
being
just
Yeah,
look-
have you ever
it just
seen a
looked like a
dog
dog,
dying
yeah.
or in pain? Like
Yeah,
it looks
it's
like a
just like-
normal dog. Yeah. It's like it's
Yeah.
just, but there's a little bit. There's like a little panting, or they're a little more subdued. Like there's other little things, but they're not humans. We bitch and cry and really fucking go all
Yeah.
out for the goddamn Oscar on it. But these
right.
animals don't.
Everybody on their deathbed wants to win an Oscar.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna win my Oscar. It's gonna be on my deathbed. I'm like, pull out the camera. Yeah, exactly. Stella.
It's
Wait, no, that's not right.
it's so I didn't feel the connection with that. But what I was saying about Timon and Pumbaa's, their lines were so on point
yeah.
that you did not pay attention to that stuff being kind of off. You did not focus because their lines and their characters were highlighting so much of what they did that you didn't care about anything else. It didn't matter. Like the meerkat, I didn't see Timon. Timon smile or anything. I just saw him talking.
Right.
But when he talked and he moved like a meerkat and he just like literally he was talking and then he just wasped a leaf just out of nowhere. It was all like everything was so on point and perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
But and here's my issue is that the audio, the sound, the voices, they were so good. Everybody did an incredible job, but it felt like things
Was it just like bad lip
weren't
syncing?
weren't together.
I wonder if that was just the theater you're in. I don't know.
It felt like they weren't together.
Do you think that's possible that there was
No,
actually
no.
something off on the track in the movie theater you saw it in?
I'm not gonna 100% say no.
Maybe
but-
if you watch it at home later again, if you watch it again,
Yeah,
you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say no because
That's
that definitely
usually
could have
like
been
a rare thing.
It's
though.
very
I
rare.
have had it
yeah,
once or twice.
but it was
though.
it was
Oh yeah.
IMAX theater. Well, didn't matter what theater. Anything
Yeah.
can go wrong technically.
But
you know?
I do know what
But-
you're saying. Like I've seen many films that high CG, and like when the characters' mouths start moving, it's like almost like slower
Yeah.
or faster than what you would expect sound to come out.
Right.
And that motion, or it's like "Arr," and then like all these words come out, or it's like oh, blah, and then
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I
with
didn't
animals,
have
it
that
has to
issue.
be crazy difficult.
Yep. I didn't have that issue at all with it.
They should have just took a human mouth and put it on a lion and been like, Mufasa,
Like they used to
everything
do in
the
the-
light touches
In
is your kingdom.
Conan O'Brien, when they used to do that back in the day, they put like Arnold's,
Just have, like,
the
the
guy
lips.
goes,
Yeah, that would have been perfect because then
Yeah.
you would have,
yeah.
connected.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't have that issue at all. I mean, there has to be. You're watching a bunch of animals talk, so you have to have a suspension of disbelief to a degree, So I think if you
Yeah.
could do that, you can be like, these are animals talking. I'm not expecting to see them talk like a human would talk.
Well, like Avatar was
But I
like
didn't
that a
expect
little
that.
bit for me.
Okay.
I went in with the perspective that they were going to try to make this as realistic as possible,
Yeah.
and so when I separate the visual and the audio, let's talk about the visual. The visual, it was 100% on point. It felt so realistic. I mean, you could not tell. Like when we talked about the shot, the realistic shot in the
Yeah.
opening, you could not tell the difference. Everything was so on point. It was just amazing to watch. The audio, everything was so well done. The voice casting, everybody was casted perfectly, and the songs sounded so incredible. The new remix to the songs felt incredible. They were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I put it together and try to watch it, that's where I had the issue.
The visual and the audio breaks
That's
down
where
for
I
you.
had the issue, and it was. You definitely have to experience it.
Yeah.
You definitely have to experience it because it was It was truly an amazing film. It truly made me. I think the only character that I felt showed best expression was the hyena. The female hyena, I forgot her
Yeah,
name.
I don't remember who does. Whoopi Goldberg's character in the original. though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She had an incredible expression on her face.
I
Well,
like
hyenas
Scar.
if you see real hyenas,
more expressive.
They're very expressive. They had that like laugh giggle
Yeah,
thing that
yeah.
they do, and they just like taunt.
Yeah,
and
so they're
kinda,
more like that in this film than
They're
they
very
are. The original
creepy,
was very
actually.
cartoonish.
Yeah, if you saw one in real life, like watch the
I've seen
National
YouTube videos,
Geographic,
yeah.
they're creepy as fuck,
Yeah.
and they're big.
Yeah.
so they're like
Yeah, so
dangerous.
they're more like the real ones in this one. Like they're very realistic and they're less cartoonish like the original. And they were very cartoony in the original. Like one was like
It's weird because I wonder, like, how far can you go with realistic depiction of animals that can talk and have people ever feel like this is a real thing? Because everyone knows
big.
that you can never get a real set of lions and a real set of these
Yeah.
animals and put them in the exact same positions as this movie,
Right.
And have them act out things and maybe dub dialogue on
Yeah.
top of them, like Homeward Bound.
yeah.
That worked because
Or
they're
Look Who's Talking
domesticated
Now.
animals.
Yeah, but it's all that kind of look who's talking kind of stuff. But it's
Yeah.
not their lips don't move.
Right,
It's just like
exactly.
a thought thing.
Yeah,
But
but
they're
it's
communicating.
like it's weird because as good as the CG gets, like in the back of your mind, you know that Hollywood would never be able to get a real lion to do this.
Well, here's the
And
thing:
film it.
is like
yeah,
So it's like
possible.
it's all bullshit, and
Yeah.
the reason cartoons work so well is because it's a fucking cartoon. It's
And-
not intended to be
And
realistic.
that's why I'm
It's
saying the suspension of
completely-
disbelief you have to somehow
immediately
create that
know.
foundation.
Yeah, when
have
you
to-
here's
when
the-
you walk into a cartoon, you're like, I already know
Yeah.
this is total fucking fakery, and I'm just in for the fake ride. But when you go to see a CG movie that's trying to be real, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, how am I supposed? Oh, it looks very real, but fuck, would a lion talk like that if it
Yeah.
could talk? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, and then you get all
here's-
caught up in all that.
here's the thing: it was truly amazing to see. It
Yeah.
really was.
I thought it was a feat, like
Yeah.
a feat of mastery. Like it was.
It
like-
really
So
was.
it was like Avatar when you saw Avatar
No,
the first time.
no, it's
I
the
think
level of detail you have to when it comes to like 3D graphics and when you have to deal with fur and those type of things. It's very technical. It's very very difficult, and to be so shots be so up close and be so detailed that you don't. you don't see any errors at all. Like
Yeah.
they do very well at that level, but to see it at Lion King take that to the next level like they did,
Yeah.
it was really, really, really amazing. And just the reflections on the eyes where you see the environment, even that simple detail in there, the certain scar, to see the powder moving like it did, it's just truly amazing.
Did you guys see the deep fakes? The deep fake
Yeah.
Lion King where
Oh, I didn't see
somebody
the Lion King one, no.
No, somebody took the trailer and then did like a deep fake on top of all the characters in the Lion King CG trailer and made the characters look like the cartoon. So their eyes are like oversized.
Yeah, no, I
and,
think I
like-
saw a little bit of that.
Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting.
I actually
mean,
liked
that's
it.
kinda
I
cool.
was like,
Yeah.
man, I kind of wish the movie looks like this instead of
But then
the
if you do
realistic.
Well,
that,
that's
then
my
it's just
whole-
how much is it like the original, and then what's the point of doing it? If they're not going to do their own
It's
take
well,
on
really,
it,
it's
But
just,
here's the
it's
question,
just the
though.
eyes, and it's kind of like
Here's
the
the question
color
that
of the
you
fur.
have.
They changed. That was it.
You even have to look at it as in what's going to make the most impact? Is it realism or the emotional connection that people have? And I feel like in this film, the emotional connection that people had to the character would have been more impactful than the realism that they had.
but
in the
I think
CG.
some people maybe didn't connect, but I think a lot of people did. And if you also look at how much money it's made,
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
I don't think
definitely.
I don't think you have to go off of like what worked, and this seemed to work.
This just made me realize why I think I didn't Jungle Book didn't connect because it did that. The animal representation, the animal characters that were based on the cartoons are very realistic animals. Like they act, even though they talk, they act in a realistic manner,
Yeah.
which was not cartoonish at all.
Right.
And I felt like I couldn't like, what's his name, Baloo and
Yeah.
Shere Khan and all them. They're like real creatures in the jungle in
Christopher
India.
Walken's big orangutan. That was,
Yeah,
I
like-
actually like that.
Yeah.
But it's like I liked, like I heard the actor's voice, but then it didn't connect with this animal that's acting like a real animal. I mean,
Right.
even though they're like, some of them are kind of like ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
the orangutan is like the size of King Kong or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's funny now that he makes that point that was why I didn't connect as much because it was like less cartoony, and that's what appealed to me was
Yeah.
like the fantastical like ridiculousness of it.
Right.
The very humanoid aspect, and not just the talking. It's not just a voice, like a human or an English voice or whatever coming out of an animal's mouth. It's like the body motion and the acting like a person.
The thing that I said to my wife is that I almost feel that I would have. I don't know because I haven't experienced it, but I almost feel like I want to experience it, like
Yeah.
not with the dialogue that was there, but with a narrator.
Oh, okay. So like a Planet Earth type
Almost
thing,
like
but
a
they're
planet-
like
like-
narrating the
yeah.
events of these animals
Yeah.
because then that takes it to the next level of
Yeah, almost
realism
with
or
character,
something.
like the character narration, still with the voices. Like everybody's casted the same, and they narrate their parts within the film, telling the story of them too. Because that's how realistic it was. Because it almost made you feel like you were really watching lions having this life, and then to have people narrating that, to me, it would have been something different.
loved it.
That
I loved
I'm
it.
like-
I
and this is,
loved it.
and I'm not saying it was not a good, an incredible project, an incredible piece of art, both vocally and visually.
Yeah.
But it was. But I think that when the two came together, for me, it didn't enhance the film.
I have a question.
It detracted.
Mufasa
Yes.
dying. Was that emotional for you?
No.
Really?
It really was not.
It was emotional for a lot of people in the theater I was in, including
I
my
don't doubt it.
daughter, who was literally bawling, and she was so upset during.
I'm
that
sorry. No,
scene.
I'm talking. You think it start? Yeah. No. Yes. The reason why that you had the emotional connection to that is because it was the same voice in the same.
But
it's
not-
almost
but
like
not
the
for her.
same
Has she
spirit
seen
of
Lion
the
King?
film.
No, she's never
She
seen
met
it.
her daughter
Never
never
the
seen the
cartoon.
original, so she had nothing to compare
Yeah,
to.
that's the thing. If you think about it, how hard is that to do with a completely digital environment, digital thing? Like, how often do you get that emotional during something like
But
that?
dude, nobody wants to
But-
see a lion die. Like
Yeah,
that in
nobody wants to
itself
see
is
anything
sad, but
die,
when it's
yeah.
James L. Jones, it's
I
like
know.
1,000 times sad.
I know.
Exactly.
Darth Vader's dying, and
Yeah.
Your wife,
No.
your daughter had that instilled from you. She knew who James Earl Jones was.
Yeah, that's
So,
what it
yeah,
was.
it's-
She's like,
don't try to play it
King
off.
Joffrey,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No,
Terrence Mann. There you go.
No, it was
Yeah.
that, and it was very emotional, because. But I being honest, I think I was reflecting back within film, and that's what's supportive too.
Yeah.
So there's that perspective of it, you know.
Right.
And
I don't know,
being
for
a
some
little
reason,
kid, being a little kid too, she connected that you're sitting beside her.
Yeah.
You know. So
Like
then there's
that scene actually never that scene never got me. It was the scene when he's like, brother, and then he's like climbing,
yeah.
and then Scar,
Help me, brother.
yeah, and you think Scar's gonna help him, and then he like hooks him, and he's like, long live the king, and he just throws his fucking, and then you just see all the herd just underneath him as he's falling, and he's like, nah, and
It's great. It's really well done in
Yeah.
the new one. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this movie has the best digital environment ever created for film. Like, it really is that good. Up to this point, because this is the newest, technology,
It's
it
funny.
looks really, really good.
looks
you know, they're
amazing.
using they're using video game technology to
I
do
know, and they got
all
like the
these
headsets,
Hollywood movies.
the VR almost headsets.
Yeah, it's got the graphics card that you would buy. Like if you bought the top of the line graphics card for your PC to play video games,
Yeah.
that's the technology that they're using to render these things in real time so they can actually rapidly see the environment they want to create, and then they just render each frame with significantly more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
but they
these,
have
you
like
know, high-end
60 of them
computers.
in one computer.
Yeah, they'll have, like,
It's called
all of them in-
yeah.
yeah.
They have like these things called render farms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how the technology has gone so far. Like even from Transformers to here,
Yeah.
where Transformer they talked about there's certain like second scenes that only lasted a couple seconds that literally took months to render. That's
So what's funny about that is I found some YouTube channel where it's these FX guys talking about like bad CG, good CG.
Yeah.
And they brought up Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, and they're like, why does it look so good? And they're kind of explaining why that scene with the T-Rex in the rain and all that looked good and still looks good today. Like you can watch that and you're like, wow, I feel like this was made this
Yeah.
year or whatever. Like that's how good this scene looks. And then they reference the final scene at the end, and I never noticed this.
What, when he grabs the velociraptors and gets in the fight with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the end, there's a final scene where the velociraptor is like creeping towards Grant, and then the T-Rex bites it and then lifts the velociraptor up. If you slow that down on the DVD release or whatever, I don't know if they've corrected it, or maybe the Blu-ray release or whatever when they released it in 3D, but when they rendered that, it was so time consuming to render it, and it was so new, and like nobody had ever done anything realistic like this before. And I don't know if they caught it or if they just didn't have time and they had to put it in the movie, and Spielberg was like, "We got to go down."
Well,
now,
there was
now.
no HD at the time, and also like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
you
no,
weren't-
no,
you
it
didn't
wasn't that. It
have
wasn't
that
that, but
ability
it
to
was the
inspect it like that.
computers that they had to do all this shit
Yeah.
at SGI or something like that.
But
was
I'm
the
saying
name of
like
the
nobody would have
farm.
caught whatever you're about to say in any
Well,
other environment.
there's
like
a
we can
frame
now.
missing. So the T-Rex, if you slow it down, the T-Rex is like bit the Velociraptor is lifting up, and the Velociraptor just disappears because when it was rendering it, there was an error and it didn't render that one frame.
Oh, wow.
And so there's like a split second where it's like not there.
It's so fast, though, you probably wouldn't notice it.
Yeah, no,
Just
I mean,
slowing it
nobody
down.
noticed it except these geeks. They were slowing that shit down and just looking at the motion. Like, wait, what the fuck? This fucking
Right.
Velociraptor just straight disappears. And
I
it's
want my
empty.
money back.
It's
Wow,
like empty
interesting.
in his mouth because
That's interesting.
the render, like whoever rendered it, probably saw it and was like, we don't have time. We
Yeah.
can't spend another 3 months rendering this fucking scene again because the movie is supposed to be out
But
tomorrow
yeah,
or some bullshit. I don't
no,
know.
if you really think about it, how would they have actually been able to tell back then? Because they're not.
They can play back the thing and look at every frame. They would
but
have
are
been
they,
able to tell.
I guess they'd be doing that. Yeah,
They-
they probably were doing that.
Yeah,
You're right.
Or it was like 10
No, because
guys.
when you're rendering,
and they
you're
were
like
had never
rendering,
done this
you're
before.
rendering an entire section or scene or whatever, and you're looking at that
usually
scene
it's
in
like-
real time. You're not necessarily
It's usually like 5 or 10 seconds, and then it's cut.
because the
Cut,
render
cut,
is
cut.
not about looking at frames. Once you're rendering out to then
Yeah.
see the final product, right? Playing in real time. So you're not necessarily going, let's render out and then take the render and inspect every frame. But they may be doing it on a project like
Maybe
that.
but
don't
this
know.
was so early in
Yeah.
CG that I'm sure now they do it.
Yeah.
Like, but back then maybe
They weren't
they're just
even-
like,
they were
you
barely
know,
editing
We can't
on-
believe this is even working.
I guess,
Yeah.
did they even have the Avid back there on in terms of editing and stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that?
Avid
Avid-
was the first.
But it's
first
fairly,
system.
no. That Avid wasn't. That was the first non.
It was the first
linear.
non-linear.
Yeah, I'm saying
system,
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
I
But
thought
that
that's
wasn't.
what
That,
you were
it came
asking.
out in like the 80s or early 90s.
Correct.
It actually had not been around.
I don't
that
even know
long.
how they
People were cutting them
put
fucking
the
by
CG
hand
out.
Yeah.
and looking at it through the light, and the editors were cutting and splicing
Yeah.
for real back.
Yeah, but I
shortly
mean, how
before
did
that.
they get
They wouldn't have been
the
doing that with a
CG
digital.
image on the?
That's
the
what I'm
film
saying. Like, how
itself?
did they
It's-
have
it's-
computer power to handle it?
Layered. It's layered within. There's a computer form where you instill the film into the computer to create the image on the computer, and then you put the
Oh, so the
animation
computer
in.
was high enough
But
resolution
the point we're
to
saying
like.
is,
No, it's not
That's
about-
what we're saying. It's 1993. How were they even having the computing power to handle? Like we still were all
Oh, they had those
consumer-wise. We're dealing with
Cray
floppy
computers.
disks that didn't even have.
No.
You couldn't even
It
put
was
a
the
photo.
N64 computers.
So,
no, but this is 93.
so from what I know
Yeah, when
is
did
that everything
N64
was
come out?
rendered separately.
96.
So from what I know, everything
96,
was
97,
rendered
though.
out
That's, like, still,
separately.
like, years.
At that time, everything was rendered out separately, so it wouldn't take as long. That means they would have different. So render farms is like bunch of servers with rendering like with 15 to 20 whatever amounts
drives.
of no,
Yeah.
not hard drives, but graphics
Graphics
cards
cards.
to help process everything through. But I think during that time, if I remember correctly, what was done was that everything was rendered separately, then put together, so so they can.
I'm
have
just, I
different
just didn't know if they
different-
digitized the
The
film,
footage, the
the
film.
actual, because Spielberg shot on film back
Yeah,
then.
I
and then
really
they
don't know.
had to
I think they
insert it
could have.
and then
Yeah,
turn it back into film, I guess, to send to all the theaters.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That'd be interesting to find out.
yeah.
All that technical shit's interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, Lion King is a feat of digital.
It's
So
a
they
master.
never, they
It's-
didn't
it
have
really
the actors
is.
just came in and did their voices. There weren't motion capture. They didn't motion
No, they didn't
capture
do
anything.
motion capture,
or-
but what they did do, which was really good, is they actually did have them perform. Any of the people who were performing
Yes.
where they could see each other and actually perform off each other. So
Correct.
like Timon and Pumbaa,
So
Seth
in,
Rogen,
like,
and Bill
on
Eichner.
all fours. and-
No. Like they were in recording
Yeah.
booths, but like that's the thing that not everybody does. But a lot of Disney
Yeah.
films, especially those early '90s, like Lion King, they did have
Yeah.
that where you could perform off that person. A lot of the other ones these days, they have them just isolated and then they put them together afterwards.
Well, usually, yeah, with the animated film, I mean, it's probably, 3 years or something in the making. They probably recorded the
least, yeah.
dialogue years earlier.
Yeah.
And then they had to use that dialogue to then match the lip motion with the CG animators. They probably had
Yeah, I don't know
hundreds
how
of
they're doing this
animators
exact
working on
one.
this
Yeah, I don't know
film.
what the sequences they were doing on this film. I don't know.
Because I know in the on like all the animated Disney films, it was like years. What's his name say when we interviewed him from Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, Bradley Pierce.
Bradley
It was,
Pierce. Yeah, he said it was like 3 or 4 years before the film ever came out is when he recorded.
He
his
was younger,
lines.
yeah, it
and
was
he was
like-
like a little kid.
he was a kid, yeah.
And then he
He-
was still young, but it was like
Yeah.
4 years later.
He was
it came
just
out
out of
in theaters.
diapers when they started the process, and
Yeah.
he had his driver's license by
Yeah.
the time they were done. It was just
Yeah.
but it was that's crazy.
Going back to Lion King, you know what I felt like disconnected me from the Mufasa a little bit was, if I remember correctly, on the cartoon version, Simba slid his head underneath the dad's arm to try to, when he's like,
Nudge him. He
"Dad?"
nudges him.
Well, no, I think he slid his head underneath his arm when he lay down.
I feel like I remember this.
If-
yeah, to
I
kind of
think-
like
yeah.
get under.
Yeah, he nudges him. He does.
it's like
he's
a
"Dad."
spooning thing.
But then, but he
The
like
Mandela effect.
But
puts his
yeah.
arm underneath him to try to get his dad to hold him again.
Yeah.
and they didn't do that in this one. And I think
Okay.
that's what's like. I was waiting for that moment, and I was like, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Hey, I just sound like Pumbaa.
But doesn't Scar show up then shortly after, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Run,
Run, Simba, and then he tells the hyenas to get him. Yeah.
What have you done?
Kill him.
You killed my brother. Now you must die."
Right.
And they,
Yes.
whatever.
He
Now,
walked in. He's like,
question:
"You motherfucker!"
Does James Earl Jones show up as Space God,
Okay.
floating in the
I don't
clouds?
wanna- I don't wanna
God
say it. I don't
guy?
wanna say
That
it.
was like my favorite part. I love that
They
shit
did it
when he
well.
like looks up and the storm comes in and he's like,
It's in- it's-
remember who you
It's
are."
there.
That's
Like
in
that
there.
shit gives
It's in
me
there.
chills. Okay,
That's in
but
there.
you see his face. It's not
I
like
don't
just a
want
voice.
You see the movie. See the movie.
It's in there.
See the movie.
It's in there.
Guys, it's not in there. Fucking.
It's in there.
The scene's in the movie.
It's in there.
But is it like in the cartoon?
Why don't you see the movie?
Oh man! So now he's just having some
The
kind of
question
mental
is,
hallucination.
who are
There's
you?
like no.
You think he wasn't in the original? Everything's
No!
realistic in that film in
It's a
terms
cartoon.
of like.
You can do whatever you want in a cartoon. It
There's
doesn't have
no
to be
real
raw.
magic. There's no real magic in
I
that film
know
in the
your
original one,
father.
except for that. Like then that's just.
I didn't think it was like magical.
That monkey gave him some peyote, and he's like, "Go out
Rafiki?
there."
What's his name?
It's like
Rafiki?
Burning Man or like
Oh,
Joshua
Rafiki,
Tree
yeah.
or something.
It's-
Yeah.
He's not a monkey. What is he?
But he's some sort of
baboon. Baboon, right?
yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
baboon.
He's
I
not a
feel like
monkey,
the
ape.
Yeah.
new version of him, which is what a baboon looks like.
I like him. I like him in the movie.
It wears me out, man. Because
He did great.
They're
I
pretty
thought you
good.
did great. That's why you need to see the movie because you've only seen the trailer, so you,
need
don't
to see
really
the
know what you're
movie.
talking about.
But in my
all.
mind,
At
that
all.
animal looks like the cartoon, not the real thing, because that's what I associate
Right.
a baboon like looking like
A
Rafiki.
baboon?
And who does Rafiki?
Wrong.
oh,
I
it's
know
not.
your father.
It's not. Is it the guy who played Black Panther's father in Black
Yes.
Panther?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but he's the guy who played Black Panther's father. Okay. in
I still haven't
Winter
seen
Soldier.
Black
He gets
Panther.
blown up in Winter Soldier. Remember at the conference room, the one that turns what's his face goes and they think the Winter Soldier blows up that UN conference or whatever
Yeah.
that was that.
Simba.
So it's not what's his name from
talking about the movie. I'm here trying to do
that
voiceovers.
television series?
Robert Guillaume from
Who did the original voice?
Benson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Benson.
No,
Benson.
he
yeah.
died like 2 years ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, yeah, it does suck, but it's this guy.
I probably
Say his name, please. Podcast.
Yeah, well,
What's his name?
Oh yeah. I know him. He's been in tons of movies.
Say his
his
name.
name is John Connie.
He was in that Adam Sandler dumb comedy murder mystery.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
in the Ghost in the Darkness.
yeah,
yes.
and he's in the Ghost in the
Oh,
Darkness. Yeah.
shit, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was in Murder Mystery. That's
I'll
right.
now
don't
see
see
this
him.
movie because Ghost in the
Connie.
Darkness guys in
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
If Val Kilmer was in this, I'd definitely go see it.
Yeah.
That does make
Well,
sense.
that's
for
why
Val
you're gonna see
Kilmer
Top
to be in
Gun
it.
Maverick. He's gonna be in that.
Am I gonna see that?
You
I
just
don't know,
said.
we'll see.
I don't want to talk to you. All right. Well, anyways, I love the movie. Diego liked parts of the movie, thought the parts of the movie were great, but as a whole, it didn't totally work for him. Neil still needs to see it. I'm going to get him to see it today.
I'm
Boom.
gonna see it today. man.
3D. I'm leaving on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so I need you to see it before then.
Nah. We'll see.
I hate like
Get to the
everything about
theaters and
you.
watch it.
You know what actually makes me excited, even though I haven't seen this movie, I've just seen the trailer, the upcoming Avatar films. I'm like, if this is this good
Yeah.
from what you
Yes.
guys are saying, and then fucking Cameron's coming out with some more of this blue people bullshit.
And been doing it for years, like developing it.
Oh
for
my
years.
God.
I think
feel
this
like
would be
it's
a
gonna
great subject for a
fucking nuts.
podcast. I think you should watch it.
Yeah.
And then we should talk about these type of films and where did they go right
Digital.
and where did they go wrong.
I think we need more like this. I think we need.
But there must
know,
be.
like-
But there must be. Like I said, we have to find a balance where it's realistic, but yet still captures the essence that, like Lion King had. What the fuck just happened to your mouth? Did you?
I don't know what it was.
That's
To be
like,
honest. We're talking
that
about
was pretty
animals, and
loud.
I just got very animalistic.
yeah.
I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like
like
I
like a-
love like a film that's all CG, but then when you take things like the Marvel films and it's like this mixture of like live action and CG, for some reason I'm like there's more of a disconnect because it's real and fake. But when it's 100% CG, like even like things that are going for photorealism, like I'm in like these Final Fantasy movies
Yeah.
that have come out, or you know, even I mean this isn't like there's no humans, but films like this,
Correct, yeah.
I'm in. Like I like that kind of thing because I know from the beginning nobody's trying to fool me.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas, you know, with every other film, it's like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous
manipulate
CG.
you.
All right, guys. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. Let us know what you think, because I truly had an experience. Nick had an experience, and Neil will have an experience
will.
soon enough.
You're gonna have, you're
On
gonna have
Netflix.
You're gonna have a pleasurable experience.
Well, not on Netflix.
This is coming to Netflix, I'm
Disney.
sure.
No,
It's Disney. It probably won't.
It's not
at this
gonna.
point.
It's
They're gonna have
definitely
Disney-
not
by the
coming to
time it hits
Netflix.
Didn't
Disney
Endgame
Plus-
just hit Netflix or something?
It may have, but we're talking
did.
about Disney Plus
Disney's
is going to be
kinda
launching in a
platform, yeah.
couple months, so I don't
Yeah.
think
Oh.
that.
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah, I
unless they have a
guess, yeah.
contract to the end of the year with Netflix,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't see what the point would be.
So check it out. Let us know
Well,
what you think.
nobody has Disney.
It'll be out before the end of the year. I
It's
think.
$7.
You'll be the only one.
Yeah.
They're doing a Disney Hulu combo for like $10.
But it's
No,
ad
$12.99
support- but it's
for
the ad
Disney,
supported
Hulu, and ESPN.
No, it's
Yes,
but yeah, but it's like Hulu. It's ad supported Hulu. So I'm like, what's the fucking point of that? Like literally, there's no point to watch fucking ads on Hulu when for $4 extra
This
you
guy
can watch.
never
I
watched
watch
Crackle.
ads. I
And
always watch ads.
I watch
because-
Crackle. I watch because that's
Well,
how I
the
started watching
coffee-
comedians and cars getting coffee. That's
Yeah,
where I
but
watched
there's
it.
still those fucking ads, man.
I know. I hated it.
Yeah,
I
but
watch
that was the
ads
only
all
way
the
you could
time.
watch
But that
it.
was in the fucking dark ages of streaming, so you would fucking be okay
Crackle
with it.
still exists.
In 2019, no.
Dude,
Absolutely
there are
not.
so many services that are like Crackle that are like legitimate, not
No, I know, but
pirating or
anything with
whatever.
ads can fucking suck my balls. I can't stand it.
See, I'm totally on the difference.
I don't
it's
watch
because
TV
part of my
anymore.
job is to do promotional work, and so I watch ads all the time to see what's trending, what's working.
And I
what's-
get that.
so-
I don't enjoy ads, and yeah, I just don't. I fucking don't. Like I don't even watch regular TV. If
I would
put
rather
on
pay
TV,
to not
I'm going
have
to the
ads,
movie
yeah.
channels. I'm going to the movie channels only because if ads drive
Nostalgic
me nuts,
Nick
'cause
has
ads
found this flaw.
Fuck up the flow of the story. It's literally
Well,
as if they had if you went to the
Crackle-
movie theaters and there was an intermission every 10 to 15 minutes, I would kill myself.
Well, no, on Crackle they did this thing where they would show an ad in the beginning of the movie and then maybe once in the middle, which is to me is
Yeah,
perfect.
Crackle
A
was
2-hour
better than
movie, if
Hulu.
I only see one ad, it does. Then you forget that it's ads. You're like, oh shit, there's an ad.
Crackle was better than Hulu. We may have to cut this for time, but okay, go ahead.
I got you guys. Thought you were gonna end the podcast.
Got the anarchists.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us here at Get to the Movies. That's Get to the Movies with the number 2. My name is Tiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
You didn't fuck it up again. That was good. I thought you were going to fuck up the outro and call it Get to the Podcast.
He drilled this shit.
That basically tells you how fucked up you are.
Wow. Why do you have to use the F word so much, man?
.com.
There's children listening.
Man, this is
That's
like,
a problem of a parent, not mine.
Nah.
This is like Toxic Avenger.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.